Coming up on this Monday morning edition of DITV, we bring you highlights from this weekend's Women's March.
And later we'll reveal how Dance Marathon is going to shake up Iowa City.
We have highlights from Iowa basketball's matchup with Purdue.
And we have updates from this weekend's Hawkeye athletic events.
It's going to be warmer this week for you guys. Find out more in weather.
We've got all that and more coming up.
DITV starts now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Becca Scadden.
And I'm Bo Bowman. This weekend has passed and we are still in the middle of the government shutdown. At 1 a.m. this morning, Congress held a procedural vote in order to reopen the government until February 18th. However, tensions between Republican and Democratic leaders are still at an all-time high, with various bills being proposed by one party just to be shut down by the other. This morning was no different, with no compromise being made. President Trump commented, stating, quote, "Democrats are far more concerned with illegal immigrants than they are with our great military or safety at the dangerous southern borders. They could have easily made a deal, but decided to play shutdown politics instead," end quote. Stick with the Daily Iowan for the latest updates, as well as a special segment later in the week where we'll tell you exactly how the shutdown will affect you.
Women's marches were held around the world this past weekend, with one being held right here in downtown Iowa City. Over 1,000 people rallied for social change on Saturday morning. DITV's Kaylin Cluck was there to learn about what the movement means to community members.
The pedestrian mall was a sea of signs, banners, and pink hats Saturday morning as Iowa City held its second annual Women's March. The Women's March is a global movement that has inspired people to move to the streets in peaceful protest to advocate for causes like women's rights and voter registration. This was the first anniversary of the Women's March after they were started last year as a response to the inauguration of President Donald Trump.
It's an opportunity to remind people that their vote matters and that in order to have a democracy in this country that works, we have to vote. We really have to vote.
The event drew over 1,000 people of all ages and backgrounds.
We've increased the number of women of color in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives.
And I feel like looking out from the stage today and seeing all the people made me feel like change is possible, and if we work together, we can get there.
It featured a rousing speech from City Council member Mazahir Salih, followed by a march downtown.
I think it's important for people to support women's rights and to vote and to support what's happening in the world, because the world seems to be very chaotic right now.
Reporting from downtown Iowa City, this is Kaylin Cluck, DITV.
Thanks, Kaylin. However, the Women's March got a little interesting. While the demonstration was going on, one lone man was holding up stickers stating, "It's okay to be white." This comes a week after a white supremacy flyer was found on lawns of several homes and a year after a white supremacist business card was found at the public library. While no charges have been pressed and the identity of the man is being kept anonymous, several people on Facebook have been identifying him as a known sexual predator. There have been no correlations tied to the previous incidents as of now.
Well, though, this weekend warmed up a lot. We finally got to see all that snow melting.
Yes, I'm excited to see what the rest of the week has in store for us. Let's toss it over to Joe in the weather studio for more.
Yeah, that's right, guys. It's going to be a lot warmer this week, but you can expect a lot of wind with this coming week as well. Today we're going to have some light rain this morning, but the rain should break by this afternoon with high reaching about 51 degrees. And as we move on tonight, there's also a chance for some showers with a temperature of about 27 degrees tonight, but the wind is really what's going to make it cold tonight. So we're looking at about winds blowing 15 to 25 miles an hour, which will make it feel a lot colder out there tonight than that 27 degrees. Now let's take a look at our extended forecast. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with the temperatures reaching a high of 34 degrees. Wednesday, the sun will come out and we're going to see a pretty clear day with occasional clouds and temperatures reaching about 40 degrees. Thursday, the sun is going to stick around with highs in the upper 40s, and the temperature will continue to rise as we move on to Friday, with the temperatures reaching a low of 50s. But those warm temperatures aren't sticking around. For Saturday, the temperature is going to start to drop to about 40 degrees. And guys, that's your weather for the week. Back to you.
With a little over a year under its belt, the Iowa City Zombie Burger has called it quits. It was announced Friday afternoon that the once hyped restaurant would be closing in 2 weeks. Orchestrate, the company that owns the eatery, admitted that they oversaturated the market by having both a location in Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. The Coral Ridge Mall location is set up to stay up and running.
The countdown to the Dance Marathon big event is on, but the organization is not slowing down. Last Friday, they made a special announcement to reveal their newest project. DITV reporter Alexis Tanzi has more.
Dance Marathon embodies what it is to be a Hawkeye, what it means to take care of your neighbors.
Taking care of your neighbors. Put into simple terms, that is the objective behind Dance Marathon. The largest student organization on campus sets out to raise funds and provide support for pediatric cancer patients and their families. With only 14 days until they wrap up the season with a 24-hour-long big event, the organization announced their latest special project.
This $2 million gift from University of Iowa Dance Marathon will provide the chair position for pediatric oncology, translational, and clinical research here at the UI Stead Family Children's Hospital, the first student-funded chair position in UI history.
This chair position will be unique to the UI Oncology program. Their job will be to be a leader in clinical and translational research and then translate that work into care, treatment, and therapy for patients.
And I believe this is the next step in creating a world-class pediatric oncology program here at the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital.
Earlier this year, Dance Marathon also committed over $650,000 to purchase a brand new MRI machine. The allocations committee backed this contribution with a unanimous vote in favor of funding the chair.
By supporting the physicians who provide that care and who do the research to make sure that we have new kinds of treatments for kids with cancer, we feel like that's really one of the most important things that can happen with an investment like this $2 million investment.
Reporting from the UI Stead Family Children's Hospital, Alexis Tanzi, DITV News.
Iowa basketball getting pretty hard to watch. They just had a tough game against Purdue this weekend, and it's not looking any better.
Absolutely, Bo. Definitely a disappointing loss to see. I'm hoping maybe they can turn it around at some point this season. Let's toss it over to Alec and Taylor in the sports studio with more on that. Guys?
Thanks, guys. And yeah, Taylor, a pretty hard to watch game from Iowa basketball.
Definitely, but fortunately there were 6 other Hawkeye events that you could have tuned into.
Let's get basketball out of the way, though, first. The Iowa basketball team returned to Carver after a long road stretch when they took on the third-ranked Purdue Boilermakers on Saturday. In the first half, Bohannon comes with the assist to Moss, and Isaiah drains it for 3. But Purdue was just too lethal from beyond the arc, with 23s this game, including this one from Carson Edwards. Iowa went down at halftime, 51-20.
It was more of the same in the second half as Purdue's Matt Harms passes it back to Edwards, who hits the 3 again. A lone bright spot for the Hawks was this low pass from Bohannon to Cook that Cook brings in for the dunk, and the Hawks fell in this one 87-64.
They're a great team, and we didn't do what we needed to do to get this win. And we got to take what we can and learn from it.
Obviously, when you lose by 25, it's never good, but there were some good things. I thought, Luka was certainly terrific. We didn't turn it over. Second half performance offensively was good.
Just understanding that, we didn't play our best basketball today. We didn't play great. Purdue played really well today. They made 23s. They're able to execute their offense. And I think, looking at ourselves, about where can we improve, where can we learn from our mistakes.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's tough to be in a game when they're making 11 threes in the first half. But like I said, we just have to be ready for Tuesday, try to take what we can from this game and move forward.
Iowa won't have too much time to dwell on this loss, as the Hawks' next game is tomorrow night at home against Wisconsin.
The Hawkeye wrestling team traveled to Columbus this weekend, where they fell to number 2 ranked Buckeyes 22-12.
But true freshman Spencer Lee upset the top-ranked wrestler in the 125-pound weight class, Nathan Tomasello. Here's what Coach Brands had to say.
We won 4 matches and we needed to win 10. You start at Spencer Lee. I think he learned something about himself. You get a takedown in the first period, keep wrestling, ride him that second period, turn him. You had to suck back there, count and a half, hold him there, make that count on the scoreboard, and then go down and then take him down in the third. It's a major decision.
Iowa will be back at home this Saturday to take on number 8 Michigan. The Iowa women's tennis team was looking for their 8th straight opening day win with their first doubleheader of the new year this past weekend. In their first match against Creighton, Iowa was led by senior Zoe Douglas, who played her doubles matches with freshman Yafei Long. The Hawks easily got past the Blue Jays 6-1.
In their second match of the day, Iowa took on in-state rival UNI. The Hawkeyes were 10-0 all-time against the Panthers, and that streak continued as Montana Crawford's dramatic win clinched the sweep 7-0.
Aggressive has definitely been something we're focusing on, and I was pleased, especially the UNI doubles, that I felt like on all 3 courts we were really calling aggressive plays and stepping up and really asserting ourselves with good aggressive doubles, which is really what we're going to need to do all season long.
We've got some great talent, so we're just coming together now, getting energy, and the spirit's coming on, and that's just confidence building from today, really.
Aggressive.
This weekend, the Hawks will hit the road to take on the Montana Grizzlies.
Friday night, the Iowa women's gymnastics team hosted the Ohio State Buckeyes in their second Big Ten meet of the year.
The Hawkeyes were led by sophomore Charlotte Sullivan, who placed first in the all-around with a score of 39.100.
The Hawks were able to take home the gold medal in this one, beating the Buckeyes 195.725 to 195.300. The Gym Hawks' next competition is on the road at Maryland on Thursday. The men's and women's track team spent their weekend competing against some of the best track teams in the country, as well as some Olympic hopefuls this weekend.
The men's team bested a field that included Florida State and LSU. The most impressive performer of the meet was Marier Harris, who posted the 7th best time in the world with his 400-meter run and helped the Hawks to become the 5th best team in the country in the 4x400-meter premier.
Well, we got more depth. It's crazy. I mean, we returned pretty much everybody from last year's team, and we actually have more depth this year. So, really excited about where we're at. But I know that we've got a lot more. I think we can run 3:03 indoor and then break 3 minutes outdoor. I mean, we got that type of talent and that type of a team.
The Hawkeyes race again this coming weekend at home at the Black and Gold Premier. The men's tennis team opened up play last Friday with a doubleheader against Marquette and Western Michigan. The Hawks swept Marquette 7-0 before falling to Western Michigan 5-2, but the matches saw steps in the right direction for a program that started with 3 freshmen and 5 underclassmen, including English freshman Joe Tyler, who was the only Hawkeye to win both matches in the 2 competitions. Both competitors were really impressed by Coach Ross Wilson, and they each earned a doubles point in the competition.
The Hawks hope their luck changes for the better as they travel south to battle the Georgia Bulldogs next Sunday.
Well, that'll do it for us this weekend. More sports to come later. Right now, back to you guys at the desk.
That's a wrap on this Monday morning edition of DITV.
Be sure to check out our print edition of the Daily Iowan on newsstands now.
Thanks for watching. I'm Becca Scadden.
And I'm Bo Bowman.
We'll see you tomorrow.